Hi everyone! My boyfriend, who has been making homemade sourdough bread for years and used to be a baker, asked me to take part in this video to show you that someone with no bread baking experience at all could follow these instructions and make his sourdough bread recipe. So this is my very first attempt. This is a one loaf recipe which I started on Monday morning and I baked on Tuesday morning. You could bake this the same day, but the flavor will be much more sour if you refrigerate it overnight and bake it the following morning. You should already have an active sourdough starter. If you want to get more sour notes in your bread, try the method laid out in this video and let me know how it worked in the comments below. The tools you need are sourdough starter, a 15-inch pizza stone, a pot or lid big enough to cover it, a banneton, a razor blade, a scale, a spray bottle, some rice flour, and a cooling rack. Now, with your scale, measure 10 grams or 2 teaspoons of sea salt. Then add 250 grams of cold water and stir until the salt is dissolved. Then add 100 grams of starter and mix well into your water. Now you want to measure 400 grams of white, unbleached bread flour, and with a large mixing bowl, add the water, followed by the flour. Combine everything until you have a ball of dough. This takes about 4 to 5 minutes. Then cover and let this rest for half an hour. Here's what I know about Brian's starter. It's 3 years old and it's 100% hydration. So for 100 grams of flour, you add 100 grams of water. There's always 200 grams of starter left after mixing a dough. To achieve more sour notes, use whole wheat flour and let it age 48 hours on the counter on the weeks you're going to make the bread. He generally makes 3 loaves a week starting on Monday. He'll make the dough on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday mornings, and bakes the loaves on Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday mornings. He feeds the starter on the same day that he mixes the dough. It's been 30 minutes and now I'll knead the dough for 2 to 3 minutes. Then let it rest another 30 minutes and do one more kneading. You can see how the dough is coming together and is really easy to manage at this point. Finally, let the dough rest one last time for 30 minutes. Then shape it by rolling it towards you like you see me doing. With the use of a banneton, you don't need years of baking experience to make a beautiful loaf of bread. The French call this loaf a batard. Now, roll the dough in rice flour. This will help keep it from sticking, and plus I like the added texture I get in the final bake. Put it in the banneton with the seam up. And put it into a Ziploc bag. Let it sit out until it doubles in size. This could be 4 to 6 hours, and then pop it into the refrigerator until the next morning. The next morning, preheat the oven, pizza stone, and cover lid to 450. I recommend letting your oven heat an additional 15 minutes before you start the bake. My oven usually takes this additional time to reach 450. I also recommend offsetting your lid when preheating. This is key to creating really good steam for the bake and blistering the outside of your loaf. Next, sprinkle some rice flour on a cutting board and roll your dough into the flour. Now score your loaf along the top rib that you see me following. While holding the blade at a 45-degree angle, try to cut at least 1/2 inch deep. Spray it down with water and you're ready for the oven. Have your spray bottle ready when you open the oven door. Slide the loaf onto the pizza stone like you see me doing. Put the pan over the loaf and spray, 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 trapping the water inside the lid to create steam. The total bake time is 35 minutes, but set your timer for 20 minutes with the lid on. And then uncover and bake for 15 more minutes. Some ovens don't bake evenly, so you may want to adjust your loaf halfway through the last 15 minutes of bake time to get an even color. Also, this is a gas oven, and you may get different results if your oven is electric. "35 minutes later, voila! This is the very first time I have ever baked bread. At no time did my boyfriend step in and help me, but I can say I've watched him make it before, so maybe that's an advantage." Most bakeries have confection ovens that have built-in steam systems. This can be achieved in the home kitchen, and here's the proof. The texture is so nice and chewy with wonderful sour notes. If you try this recipe, let me know how you did, and if you have a question, leave it in the comments below. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video.